Not exactly a very pleasant voice, but trying to add some flavor to your stream because I understand most of my other streams are all silent. I don't really want to play the audio. Never actually heard the audio of this game. I won't be speaking throughout the entire stream, but I would say the mic audio is more like to give you some comment, some flavor throughout the match, and just to give some context in ranked matches in this game, Pokemon Unite, especially solo queue, you're gonna meet a lot of frustrating players. There's gonna be a lot of scream-worthy moments. I'll try not to scream. I'm not sure why at this stage I'm still being matched with an Ultra, which is of a lower rank, because I'm not exactly like the lowest tier of Masters rank. I'm currently at about 1800. When you first become Masters, you'll be at 1200. So 1800, trust me, it takes a ridiculous amount of effort on solo queue to get there. I really don't understand. It means that the algorithm is not able to find suitable players, so they match you with players which unfortunately are always lower than your current so-called capability. It's never more or above, but always below. You know, it's like when you're reaching in a bag for equivalent skilled picks. You know, when you run out of choices, the game picks from the lower bags. Frustrating. And I have to start out with a PSA that people who do not look at the mini-map should not be playing this game. Period. And trust me, there are countless of people at Masters rank who do not look at the mini-map. It's kind of a habit that was trained by playing Dota previously. You know what, even if you didn't play mobile games like Dota or League of Legends, that is no excuse not to learn to look at the minimap. Oh man, the guy's dead. Yeah, I've seen a lot of Masters greedents like to go to the enemy neutrals. I guess that's a viable strategy. It works really well if the opponents are not early game powerhouses. So actually, Hoopa is an early game powerhouse. It can actually kill at a very early game. Like now. Oh, I might have to tie this down at a loss looking at that AFK Alolan Ninetales. So Sarina reaches its power potential at level 6 because that's where it evolves to its final form. So after killing this, Grassy Glide used to be the go-to because of the amazing knockback. You could knock back and then use triple axle and knock back again. But they removed the slow effect from Grassy Glide and they reduced the cooldowns for what is that? Drop kick. So drop kick becomes much more viable now. I'd say at Masters rank, score shield's kind of like a necessity because it can really turn the tide. Alright, this nine tails. Probably gonna have to surrender. Sickening. So I do the drop kick behind Rotom, so it slows down enemies that are trying to poach it. Not even level 9 yet. Right. So by the way, the reason why my Unite move didn't pull off is because he got a brief moment of unstoppable when he used his Unite. So that's the problem with Sarina's Unite. It's very powerful, but it's totally blocked by the unstoppable buff. So even a simple Macham's unstoppable, which is so common, will block it. And then you have to deal with a 10-second cooldown before you can try and use it again. Yeah. So because of the Queenly Majesty passive, spamming your other move will be allow you to actually sometimes use the move that you actually want. It's a great team. I mean, great opponent team. Not really. Talent Flame is terrible, but the rest are pretty decent. Average, I mean, average, pretty average, which is already so hard to come by in this game. Nine tails. My god. Ah. Oh shit. Upa Unbound. Upa Unbound is a powerhouse. God damn it, what is with these people? Talon Flame trying to score some goals so he doesn't look like shit. But you know what? I don't care about looking like shit. There's lots of people who like they totally um, fail at team fights because they just want to rack up the score amount so it looks like they actually are good players. But yeah, that's not a that is not an indicator of how good a player you are. That is for sure. Man, this Ninetales is feisty. Oh, guess we do have a chance. Very, 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 very slim chance. Being the bait. back for a quick heal up. Shit. Yes, great. Mm-mm-mm. Huh. So, my friends, it is possible to come back from a shitty start like mine. But let me tell you, this does not happen often. I'm gonna pause the screen so I don't hurt people's feelings while I totally report and trash them. In case you guys are wondering why I always pause the screen. You know, you know what this game desperately needs? It needs a system where, I'm a product manager, right? And I can tell you that the product managers need to improve the system of matching, right? So there's definitely a priority or like a logic in terms of how they rank you or how they match you with other players. So there needs to be one factor in that matching priority or the matching logic, where if you have blocked or reported a person, a player before, then they're not going to be on your team. And that it actually increases the chance of them being on the opponent's team. Because if logically I'm misreporting a person or mis-blocking a person, um, and they're really that good, then let them play against me and let them prove their worth. And they're gonna keep losing and losing until they actually deserve, until they actually can prove that they are actually good players and not absolute trash. Like you see that when you have a wait time that is more than 10 seconds, it means the algorithm cannot find suitable players. In this case, a lot of friends are online, so got game friends. It means that okay, there are a lot of proper players online. It's just that maybe they are in games right now. So I'm gonna pause a bit while I ramble and wait for the algo. I know the current blocking system doesn't actually do anything. Blocking just means that they cannot add you as friends, and that's honestly a terrible way to use the blocking function. Blocking should not be that useless. And it doesn't, so the argument that if you actually introduce proper blocks, it means that no one will be able to match, or everyone will be able to game the system and only play with good players in a solo queue, is not true. Because like I said, that isn't the only factor you can put in a ranking algorithm, and it is not a hard factor, meaning that even if based on all these ranking logics, I cannot find enough people for you, then I will still have a default. So it will override and eventually, unfortunately, match you with a lousier player. But still gotta try, right? So the two best players in the game are Sarina and Blastoise, in my opinion. Sarina for offensive and Blastoise for defensive. And then for the remaining few, you can, I mean, the meta really, you can go check out Game 8, great website. It's not 100% be all end all, of course, but it's a good starting point. Coffee, guys. Blastoise should ideally go to the top path, ideally, because its basic attacks don't do shit. The main point of basic attacks is to refresh your cooldown with every boosted attack, i.e. every third attack. It will reduce the cooldown of your moves by 1 second. Because I have Skull Bash, you don't actually need to be too afraid about taking attacks. Skull Bash and Focus Band. Focus Band, extremely good held item. Uh, it's a mess. Any Blastoise who chooses any other move other than Hydro Pump and Surf is a terrible failure. There was a point in time where what's the other move again? The Rapid Spin and Water Gun, I think, had a bug, so it was doing insane amounts of damage, but that was obviously fixed very quickly. So players who use Water Gun and Rapid Spin are either really outdated or they're total yeah, failures. Man, this God, I'm gonna block this gutter ball. Shit. And expected gutter ball gives up. Dude. Like Dreadnought was already killed, but Gardevoir still wanted to go below. Like you give no value add whatsoever. That was not a good action on my part. In general, if you have the numbers advantage, you should be pushing the surf towards your allies rather than away. You push the surf away from allies if they are in trouble. Wow, what is this Greninja doing? Huh. What? Oh. So looking at the minimap should tell you that Dreadnought is respawning. It is time to gather your people. So in the past, Dreadnought always was the better choice because Rotom didn't actually do much, but they buffed Rotom so it did a lot more damage. It had a lot more utility. So actually Rotom now is the better choice than Dreadnought. Making use of opponent's berries to heal up. So be very careful with Blastoise, even with the um, what is that? With the energy amplifier to reduce your cooldowns. Very important for Blastoise. Energy amp. You still need to be careful towards the Zapdos spawn mark, which is at 2 minutes, right? So you really ideally want a Hydro Cannon to be used during the Zapdos fight. Either as a last hit on the Zapdos, or if you use your judgment and you feel that what your team really needs is a Unite right now, even though Zapdos is not dying. Knock him about, boys. Knock him about. Press launch. 96%. Alright, there we go. Oops, be careful. There we go. And it's a win. So if you look at the top bar, they are all respawning. So it's a gone case. You can see the top circles like Machamp is respawning 4 seconds, 3 seconds, 2 seconds. So that's how you judge whether or not you should actually go for the Zapdos kill or hang around, try to defend it, so forth. I'm gathering up the goals so that they can't just gather up enough or a lot and then try and score. Turns out the Gardevoir is really, really average. Thank goodness. Turns out he was average, which is good enough. Alright. So, who do you think was the worst? The worst in that match? I, I would say Greninja. Not because of the zero score, but the gameplay was really, really bad. So even though Machamp is the MVP on the opponent's side, but yeah, I don't really agree also. Yeah, none of them are really that. None of my teammates really stand out as well. Like, not people I want to add. Sorry guys, I might be a bit distracted during this match. is everybody at the top? Well, guess I should be a good team member and join them. But actually my role now is really just to defend the bottom lane. So usually I would ask them to go to the bottom lane because the opponent's base at the bottom is still full. But since all your teammates are at the top, yeah, don't have enough support to make the score. So even though yeah, there was the top lane rotom and all that, but yeah, jeez. A Dragonite that went for Outrage instead of Hyper Beam. Okay, now I really need to focus on becoming level 9. It's a bad move. God damn it. Wait, do I have focus ban? No, I don't. That's why I'm a bit squishy. So you can see the difference without focus band, you're really squishy. What I have is squash shield, muscle band, and what's the last one? Razor claw. For more offensive firepower. But yeah. Oh, Dragonite is not good. So Duraludon now doesn't use Dragon Pulse anymore. Because of the nerfs. Oof, my first L of the day. Oh boy. Unless we can bunch together well enough. It's very hard to recover from this. We have to bunch together and basically fight our way. Fight our way. So Blastoise and Crustle should actually be the ones leading our goal scoring at this late stage. My suspicion is Blastoise doesn't have Score Shield. Okay. Man, I only scored 21? It's ridiculous. Other team had good defense, huh?